to 1. Actually, let's look at one more that has a leading term of 1, a leading coefficient of 1. Goodness gracious. A leading coefficient of 1. But let's say we have x squared plus 3x minus 10. Well, again, we build our parentheses. Trying to do this quickly. Not use up all my time. All of a sudden, we are looking at a slightly different situation. We still know that our first term is x because all we're trying to build is a single x squared. So that's a good start. Okay, and now all of a sudden, we're trying to build a negative third term. To build a negative term, to multiply two numbers together and have the product be a negative, the signs need to be different. So I know right out of the gate that this is going to be, I really can't deal with that much longer. Let's keep doing this. Okay. I know that it's going to be x plus something times x minus something, or x minus something times x plus something. But try to stay consistent so again you don't end up doubling it. So I could have negative 2 times positive 5 and negative 5 times a positive 2. I could have a negative 1 times a positive 10, or I could have a negative 10 times a positive 1. Okay? Any of those situations are possible. There's no other pairs, I don't believe. So let's go ahead and start with a 5 positive. Where did I go? 5 and negative 2, and then 2 and negative 5. 10 and negative 1 and negative 10. Now, well, it looks like I hit it on the first one here. How do I know that so quickly? I know that x times x is x squared, and I know that 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. I did that all on purpose really quickly. What I don't know is how middle terms excuse me, will combine. I have x times negative 2 is a negative 2x, and I have a positive 5x, and negative 2x and a positive 5x combine to make a positive 3x. Okay? If I use this one, my middle term ends up being a negative 3x. If I use this one, my middle term becomes a positive 9x, because x times negative 1 is negative 1x, and 10 times x is 10x. Positive 10 and a negative 1 combine to make a positive 9. This one's going to become a negative 9x. So I happen to just get lucky and hit this one right out of the bat, and you do start to, get pretty good at it after a while. Third term is negative. Then the signs are different, and all of a sudden you're looking for a pair of numbers that multiply together to build a 10 and have a difference of 3. And then you just have to figure out which one wins in the battle of combining like terms. The positive or the negative, and so you put the bigger factor with the winning team, and that's that. Last one, 2x squared plus 9x plus 6. Now in this case, it's not terribly challenging to get started because there's only one way, because 2 is prime, there's only one way to build a 2x squared, and that's with a 2x and an x. So again, it's not super complicated, and I made all the signs positive. But you get the idea that, okay, there's only one way. Now if it was 4x, it could be 4x squared, it could be 2x and 2x, it could be 4x and x, and it gets more complicated, and after a while, sometimes it becomes not worth it to try to factor. But if you're good at factoring, and practice makes perfect, it can be a tremendous way to shorten your solution process to quadratics. So I know that it's 2x times x because there's no other way to build a 2x squared. I know that the signs are the 6 with these last two terms, okay? And I happen to know not only are the signs the same, but they're both positive because the middle term ends up being positive, and I can't build a positive term with two negative ones. So I know right off the bat that these are all positive. Okay? Now my only choice is to figure out how to build my 6 in a way that's going to have these middle terms be that positive 9. And I don't know whether it's 1, 6, or 6 and 1, or 2 and 3, or 3 and 2. Okay, I need to check these. Now I know 2x times x is x squared. And I know that 1 times 6 is 6. What I'm not sure of yet is how these other ones work. I've got 2x times 6 is 12x. 12x plus 1x is 13x. We're not looking for a 13x, we're looking for 9x, so it's not it. Now this one, 2x times 1x is 2x. 2x plus 6x is 8x. Oh, close, but no cigar. Not it, okay? 2x times 3x, 2x times 3 is 6x. 2 times x is 2x. So 6, did I do this wrong? Oh, I see what happened here. Okay. Is not it. So this ends up being 8x. Actually, these two are actually the same because of the common factor of 2 here. It ends up being x plus 3. So at any rate, I'm looking at this last one. 2x times 2 is 4x. 3 times x is 3x. 4x and 3x is 7x. And I have my 2x squared plus 4x plus 3x, making my 7x plus 6, and I am done. That's a run through. It gets a little more complicated, but if it gets too complicated, bail and use one of your other strategies, the quadratic formula, completing the square, something like that. So, good luck.